A lease that requires renter's insurance isn't the same thing as a resident actually having a policy in hand. It's easy to assume that once the requirement is written into the lease, the job is done. But requiring something and enforcing it are two different things. And that's the gap that Share and MDS are looking to solve for those who need that gap solved currently. More than 40% of residents on leases that already require rental insurance in our historical customer base still have no coverage, even though it is required on their lease. That's a structural gap in how insurance requirements typically get enforced. And so when a resident causes water damage, a fire, a liability incident, and has no coverage, that exposure doesn't just disappear. It flows back to the property and ultimately to the owner. And that is why this gap should matter to you specifically. Yes, it is ideal for residents to have coverage to maintain their liability, but ultimately we're looking to avoid having that liability eventually transferred to the owners and property managers in the case that those residents don't have renter's insurance. Even when there are property managers or owners who are looking to enforce renter's insurance for the residents, enforcing that can be very manual and difficult to do in an ongoing process. It usually means manually collecting proof of insurance, tracking which units are covered, chasing down renewals, following up residents who have let policies lapse. Even in some cases, we hear from some of our customers where a resident may sign up on month one with the proper coverage that's outlined in their lease, and on month two, they just lower that to the lowest number so they can lower their monthly charge for renter's insurance. Managing that is very difficult for property managers and owners on an ongoing basis. That's real staff time spent on something that should be passive. The good news is this doesn't have to be manual. The ongoing chase is what Sure is helping solve for MDS's property managers and owners. Whether or not insurance is required in your leases today, there's a way to close this gap without adding to your team's workload. And that's exactly what this partnership was built to solve. Sure and MDS partnered to bring renter's insurance directly into the tools that you already use, the resident portal and Spire. There's no new system to log into, no separate vendor relationship for your residents or for you to manage. It's built into the experience that's already a part of your day to day. This was designed with two audiences at once. Owners and managers get real visibility into who's covered and who isn't at a glance, and residents get a fast, low friction way to actually get insured instead of a requirement that they have to then figure out on their own. There are a few outcomes that we see typically with our customers. The first being higher insurance participation, less administrative work for your teams to manage, a better protection for owners, managers, and residents all in one, and then lower operational risk. Fewer gaps in coverage means fewer scenarios where the property is left holding the exposure.